Finding your true self requires a lot of patience, a lot of involvement with everything that you are at the present time, and it also requires a faith that whatever you will find along the way, it will be exactly what you need to become. When you talk about your true self, you talk about the quantum energy that actually gets to experience this lifetime as a human life. And this true self is at the core of our being, and it is at the core of life itself. Now, we as human beings during our lifetimes, we experience different forms of our true selves. We experience the emotional self, for instance, which is the basis of all our emotions, feelings, the way in which we feel about ourselves and about the world. This emotional self, it's a big part of our true self, but it is not the only self that we have. Except, aside of this emotional self, we have the mental self. That is the amount of beliefs, the amount of judgments, the amount of thoughts that we have about ourselves, about the world, and in general about the way in which we see the world, we perceive it, the way in which we think of ourselves. This mental self is also very relevant to our human experience as well as the emotional self, but we are not only our mental self. And then there is another side of ourselves, and that is the constructed self. Namely, that part of who we are that we get to show to other people. That part of who we are that basically gets to be seen by others as our social persona. It's basically not a way to disguise your true feelings, but it's rather a conventional face that you show to other people and that it's socially acceptable. The constructed self could become dangerous in instances such as being conditioned to think of yourself as someone that has to behave in a certain way, or as someone that is limited to a certain lifestyle. Now, all these three selves, the emotional self, the mental self, and the constructed self, they are all inhabiting this emotional, spiritual space that is inside ourselves. Our inner universe, basically, it is in every second of our existence brought to life by the interplay of these selves. And there are stages in our lives when we feel very disconnected from our true self. So we are basically inhabiting one self more than the others. For instance, if right now I am in a stage of my life where I am completely disconnected from my emotions, it is very possible that I am connected to my mental self. And yes, I am a human being that gets up in the morning, goes and performs, goes and runs different errands, goes to the job, talks to other people. But in my emotional self, there is nothing happening. So basically, I am living this life from this place of my mental self, but I am not living life from my emotional self. Or quite the opposite. I could be very comfortable in my emotional self. I could feel everything very deeply, but my mental self, it's underdeveloped. And this leads to an intensity that I find very hard to manage. I feel everything very deeply, but I cannot think of what I feel without feeling incredibly triggered or uncomfortable. So finding one's true self, it means to have all parts of this self in harmony with each other. There is no way I could act only from my emotional self and feel at ease with life and feel accomplished and feel happy about myself. I need everything that I am as a human being in order to function properly, in order to enjoy my existence, in order to balance those aspects that have been unbalanced or unhealed. And finding this true self, it's about understanding every part of this self and put it into motion. It is very important not to ignore one's feelings, because then I get unbalanced thoughts. It is very important not to ignore one's thoughts, because then I get unbalanced feelings. And everything will become incredibly burdening to me. When you feel that your life, it's only pain and suffering, and it's like a movie that you watch over and over again and you feel very stuck, it means that you are disconnected from this true self. What does it feel like to be connected with your true self? You know who you are, you know who you are not, and you know what you want and what you don't want from yourself and from other people. When you are connected with your true self, you experience life as it is without having false expectations. You are engaged with every little thing that you do, and you find pleasure in what you do. But most importantly, being connected with one's true self means to actually have a capacity of overcoming difficulties without becoming bitter or enraged that you have gone through that specific event. You basically understand everything that happens to you, and everything is put in a healthy perspective that helps you achieve wisdom from whatever you go through on one hand, and on the other hand, that doesn't make you feel burdened by life. You don't feel impoverished by your own existence, but rather enriched by whatever happens to you, because you know what to look at from your whole life. When you are disconnected from your true self, it is a feeling of being disconnected from life itself. And this brings a lot of sorrow and a lot of sadness. You feel that your relationships lack authenticity. You feel that the core of any relationship that you have is deeply shaken, and you distrust yourself and other people, up to the point where you become paranoid about your mission in other people's lives, but you become incredibly anxious about yourself, and you feel that you have no purpose in your life. When you are disconnected from your true self, you don't believe in anything. You feel very confused. Your body feels like it's aching all the time, and you feel this pain of being alive. When you feel that everything in your life is pain, that is a sign that you are disconnected from your true self, and that is a sign that you must start this journey of self-discovery. We often use this term, self-discovery. Let's think of it. What is this self-discovery? It's the discovery of your true self. And discovery of true self means to bring to the surface whatever is not real, any mental ideas that have been buried in your subconscious mind and that have been there for years maybe, and you feel that there is nothing you can do about changing yourself. It could be transgenerational trauma. It could be a pattern of negative thinking that has been instilled in yourself since you were a child. It doesn't matter which are the elements that are not part of your true self. You must get rid of them in order to let this true self manifest. Many people think that we need to learn and we need to grow this lifetime. Let's read more books. Let's go into more classes. Let's discover ourselves through everything that we can access. Okay, that is very important, but that is like the second part. The first part is to get rid of whatever is no longer serving you, and this could be a certain belief, this could be a toxic relationship, this could be an attachment, this could be a severe addiction that you get to manifest each day of your lifetime. And you must understand that if you don't stop harming yourself through daily habits, through connections with other people, your true self will never become a part of your life, and you will feel stuck because you are not allowing yourself to step into the true power that you can only access when you are in this place of being aware of your true self and of manifesting this self in every relationship that you have with yourself and others in your life.